To the United Nations now, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy addressed the General Assembly, and he warned that Russia, from his vantage point, wants to expand the war beyond Ukraine. Listen.
Ukraine is only the first, and now Russian drones are already flying across Europe, and Russian operations are already spreading across countries, and Putin wants to continue this war by expanding it, and no one can feel safe right now.
Olivia Gazis, who joins me now, has been following the latest, and she joins us from the United Nations. Olivia, I'm so very happy to have you with us. In his speech, President Zelenskyy talked, of course, about Ukraine, but he talked in great detail about Estonia, Moldova, and other parts of the world he believes are now in the threat matrix from the war in Ukraine. Explain.
Absolutely, Major. You're right. When he addressed the General Assembly, he did express some gratitude for President Trump's apparent shift in rhetoric towards Ukraine's likely prospects on the battlefield. But he also painted a bleak and troubling picture, one of international institutions that are ineffective, feckless at helping the world's most vulnerable, saying that citizens are suffering in Sudan, in Gaza, in Syria, and international institutions are standing by without any ability to help. He also, as you showed there, warned that Russia was not limiting its military ambitions to Ukrainian territory. He cited those recent incursions that we saw over NATO airspace over Poland, Romania, Estonia, the Baltics, saying Putin will not stop at Ukraine's borders, and it would be cheaper, he made a business case, to stop him now than to wait for the Russians to develop ever more effective ways of reaching deeper and deeper into NATO territory.
Olivia, as best as you can tell, and I know it's always complicated at a massive story in a massive place like the General Assembly, lots of people buzzing around saying different things, but the president yesterday on social media suggested what appeared to many to be an enormous shift in emphasis and orientation toward the war in Ukraine. And today he called Russia a potential paper tiger in that conflict. What, to the best of your ability, has been the reaction or response there to what they're hearing brand new from the American president?
You're absolutely right that it was sort of an unexpected way for the president to reveal this new apparent mindset. He gave little indication of it during his own remarks to the General Assembly, or even just before meeting with President Zelenskyy in remarks to the press. Instead, it was on that Truth Social statement where he laid out an entirely different worldview than he apparently had been espousing in the months prior. At first, this was greeted with something like jubilation by the Ukrainians, by the European officials that I've spoken with here. Now I think that's settled into something like cautious optimism, just because it is not clear whether this is passing rhetoric, whether this is an attempt at provoking President Putin, whether this is actually going to be met with any new material American contributions, which were absent from the statement itself. At the end of the statement, the president did wish both countries well and made no indication that the U.S. was preparing to take any more punitive measures towards the Russians.
Olivia Gazis with the General Assembly right behind her. Thank you so very much for joining us. I appreciate it.